All right, we're ready to start the show. We just want to let the honey finish extracting here, so it shouldn't be too long.
Katie, you'll be here all night.
Oh, that's right. Shoot. Oh, well. Showtime! If this video right here is not the most satisfying thing you've seen all day, I do not know what would be. This is part of the honey extracting process, and we have master beekeeper in the house today, Jim Leether. Jim, that video, we got to talk about that video before we really get going here, because that was amazing.
Well, that's part of what we call the decapping process. Bees, when they build their wax comb, here's one of the frames. It is wax that they build, they fill it with nectar, and once it has reached the right percentage of water composition, it can't be too wet or it'll ferment and make you sick, they put these wax cappings over it to seal it up. We have to remove these wax cappings in order to get the honey out of the comb, so that was the decapping process.
Wow. And you use that big knife.
Yep, we've got that's called a cold knife. We also have, this is what's called a decapping plane. This is a heated device that removes this. We're not using this today because it gets very hot, and you have to kind of babysit that so you don't end up burning some things.
Is it equally as satisfying when you do it with that?
It is. I don't think you see as much of the wax because it kind of gets balled up inside of it when you draw it down. But yeah, you do get that nice even pull with the honey running down the frame. Yeah.
So you've got a couple extra to do here, and we're gonna kind of go through the honey making process.
We are.
Right? So how does it work? Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and remove the rest of the cappings from this one first.
Can't wait. And you post some of these videos sometimes because people love to see them that much, right?
It is a very satisfying thing to watch.
And is it easy to cut?
It's easier in the summertime when it's warm. The comb gets a little bit brittle in the fall when it starts to get cooler. But yeah, it's pretty easy to cut. It's a lot easier to cut with a heated knife. Gotcha.
Wow. Look at that. And you've already been doing a lot of honey this year, right?
Yes, I have harvested so far 600 pounds of honey this year.
600.
Definitely sounds like a lot. It's kind of a drop in the bucket compared to some of the larger honey operations out there. But for me, that's a really good amount of honey.
That sounds awesome. Does what you cut off get tossed to the side? Does anything happen with it, or?
This device here has a false bottom in it so that we can let any of the honey that is left in there drain out. So we can still collect that so we don't lose it. The cappings themselves they smell very good, so they're very popular to use for things like candles and lip balm or different types of cosmetics. So we'll filter them, melt them down, and sell them to people who want to use them to make soap or face cream or all kinds of different things.
All right, so now you're putting it into
this is a 9-frame honey extractor. So this device holds 9 medium-sized frames. These are called medium-sized frames. And it spins them at a high rate of speed, throwing the honey out of the frames onto the sides, and then we collect it at the bottom.
Okay.
And we catch it in a bucket on the front there. It's a food-grade bucket. We just run it through a strainer. We don't filter it in any way. We don't heat it in any way. We just collect that nice raw honey. So
what do we do to get this puppy fired up?
So I actually converted it to electric this year. I had been hand cranking this up until this year, which was getting to be a bit of a chore. But we have a little speed controller here.
Whoa!
And we just
let's see.
Ease it in to make sure we're not off balance.
Oh my gosh. So you made this happen electrically?
I got a conversion kit for it.
Conversion kit, okay. How fast do you think that's going?
I'm not really sure. But you can already see the honey starting to come out.
Let me see.
See it hitting the sides there and running down?
Whoa! There it goes.
Part of it's cool today, so the honey isn't flowing as well as it normally would.
Sure.
Well, go ahead and let it ride there for a little while, and then it'll even out.
Yeah, let her ride. So I see the honey coming out.
Yep, and we just let this run for a few minutes, and all the honey eventually gets slung out of there, and then we with an empty comb, we can take that comb, put it back in the box, give it back to the bees, and they'll refill it again.
And now what's being caught? Obviously, it doesn't just go straight to the bucket, right?
So the strainer is just there to catch any bits of beeswax, or every now and then you'll get a splinter of wood off the frame, or bits of propolis, which is this sticky stuff you see all over the outside of the box here.
Yeah.
And it just keeps those big chunks of stuff from getting down into the honey. We don't take anything beneficial out of it. It's a little easier to eat when there isn't a bunch of grainy stuff in it, so it filters out all that stuff.
Cool. Well, let's let that run for a little bit. We'll take a break, and then we'll come back and do more sweet stuff.
All right, sounds good.
All right, we'll be right back. Oh, here's another kind of satisfying video. It's not like the first one, but it's still a good one. Here you go, Jim. So we're bottling here.
Yes, we are.
This is the bottling bucket you've got going on.
Yep, we transferred the honey from the extractor to the bottling bucket.
Okay.
And this is a small 5-gallon bottling bucket with a honey gate on it. We have a much larger bottling tank at home, but it wasn't quite as portable as we needed it to be to come here.
Cool.
These, as you can already see, tend to ooze and leak a little bit, which is why we moved to a better situation.
Perfect. Look at that. All right, let's head over here. Now, I got to ask you a question, Jim.
Sure.
Do you get sticky a lot when you're working with honey? Like, I picture you just trying to touch things, and there's all kinds of...
Yes. Yes, constantly. You just kind of get used to it over time.
Sure. So we've kind of come up with a fun little recipe. We actually found it. Cakeys by Rachel, and we want to use a little popcorn and use the honey and make a little fun snack.
Yep.
You know,
and it's
Halloween time. Kids are going to be snacking, so.
It's a real easy one saucepan type of thing. We've got some melted butter here already. It was 3 tablespoons of melted butter.
Yeah.
Got that melted down already. To that, you add 1 tablespoon of water.
Okay.
1/4 teaspoon of salt.
That's making noises.
And 1/4 cup of honey.
And I think what's so cool is we're using the honey that we just extracted.
Yep.
Like, that's mind-blowing, you know? Local honey, so important. Can you taste the difference?
Between local honey and...
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Most folks that have been getting their honey from the grocery store that then get a bottle of honey from me, they come back and they say they just could never, ever go back to store-bought honey again. It's so much better. It tastes so much better. It smells so much better. And it's good for you. It's better for... The stuff from the grocery store has been pasteurized, so anything that's beneficial has been taken out of it. It's just sugar at that point.
Yeah. And by the way, how are the bees doing?
Bees are doing well. We're getting into that cold season now. I've got a few that are a little bit light on food, but it's real easy for me to give them a little bit of extra supplemental food, which I will do throughout the year to make sure that they don't starve on me before springtime gets here and the flowers are blooming again.
So what is supplemental food?
So it's plain old cane sugar. I lay some paper towels across the top of the hive bars and sprinkle some regular old white cane sugar on top. It does a couple of things. It pulls moisture off of the bees, which is the #1 killer of bees during the wintertime, is them getting wet. So it soaks up that moisture and it gives them something to eat, because once that moisture soaks in, it gets sticky. And the bees can go up there and eat that sticky, gooey stuff that sticks to the bottom of the sugar. And
you were kind of telling us during the break that the queen bee, you might think, oh, the queen bee, she's the boss. She's really not.
No, she's not. Definitely a lot of people, I mean, I've had a number of adults when they come up to our booth and they see the bees there that'll tell their children, oh, the queen bee, she's the ruler of the hive. She is not the ruler of the hive. The queen bee is simply an egg layer. She is the mother of all the bees in the hive. And if she does not do enough work to lay eggs and make enough bees to keep that population high enough, they will replace her with a new queen and kill her.
Sounds like a lot of pressure.
It is. All right, so we let that boil for about a minute.
Yeah.
It's nice and liquid now. So
yeah, smells good.
Go ahead and...
So what am I doing here?
I'm going to toss it right in that bowl.
Oh, you're going to toss it right in the bowl?
Yep.
All right, here you go.
So we will pour this over the popcorn.
Oh, look at that. Listen to that. Okay.
And I'll give
You a popcorn guy, Jim?
Oh, I am.
Oh, good.
I am.
Are Are you into like kettle corn? Because this is kind of like...
It's very much like kettle corn. I am definitely into kettle corn. So this is good. It's definitely that, where it's been salted, it's got that sweet and savory side to it, which everybody loves.
That's just it.
All right, get a good coating on everything.
Yeah. Are you good at throwing it up and catching it in your mouth, or? I think that's a skill that takes time to.
Yeah, it's hit or miss.
Yeah, I get that.
Sometimes I'm good, sometimes I'm not. I think day to day my coordination changes, and the older I get, the worse it gets.
Really?
So,
yep. Cool.
All right, so we'll go ahead and lay this out across this.
Yeah.
There we go.
Well,
that's looking good.
That does look good. It smells good.
Okay.
All right.
So that will now go into a 350-degree oven.
Okay. And
for 15 minutes.
That's perfect. You know, fire it up in there, and miraculously, Jim, through the magic of television, we've got some.
We do.
And can I just say, Jim, that this is the cutest little Tupperware because it has bees on it.
Yes, it is.
I wouldn't expect anything else.
Gotta have a theme.
All right, so let's give this a go here. Probably gets a little sticky, but you just break it up.
Just like kettle corn does.
That's amazing. I love.
Never gets old.
It's like not too much. You know, it's not like too sweet. But, oh, it's great. All right, Jim, let's see if we can make this thing happen here. Ready? Nope. All right, Jim, you got to try. I didn't nail it.
Usually pretty unsuccessful because of the amount of hair on my face, but we'll try it.
Well, that... Jim! You did it! Wow. I would say this has been a successful day.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. And if people want to get in touch with you, find out about getting honey, anything like that,
sure.
How do they do that?
We're Victory Garden Apiary. We're on Facebook. We're at beesarefun.com.
Cool.
And you can email me at jim@beesarefun.com.
And check out your social media for more of those videos.
That's right.
Of the honey process.
That's right.